Okay, picture this for a second. You sit down at your desk, you've got your morning coffee in hand, and you're ready to dive into some real, meaningful work. But wait, before you can actually do any of that, you have to run through the exact same digital chores you do every single day. You know the drill, right? You're checking email, organizing yesterday's scattered files, pulling the latest numbers into a spreadsheet. Honestly, it's a tedious, manual drain on your energy before the day has even really begun. Well, welcome to this explainer. Today we're exploring a tool that promises to put an absolute end to that painful repetition.
So, let's dive right into this. Imagine you've got a recurring alarm on your phone, but instead of just aggressively beeping at you to wake up, this alarm actually wakes up a highly capable smart assistant who sits right at your desk and finishes your morning chores while you're literally still making breakfast. No way, right? Well, it's a truly fascinating concept, and that is exactly what scheduled tasks in Claude Cowork allows you to do.
Here is our quick roadmap for today. First, we'll cover the power of scheduling. Then, we'll look at how it works, how to write the perfect prompt, the setup process, a few real-world examples, and finally, some important limitations.
All right, part one, the power of scheduling. Think about a standard manual process. You've got to open Claude, type your instructions all out again, sit there and wait for it to process, and then manually copy the results over to your files. It's a lot of friction. But with an automated scheduled task, it's like night and day. Claude wakes up entirely on its own, it already knows the instructions, the output is fully baked and ready when you arrive, and it's saved directly to your local files. It's just total seamless automation.
Moving right along to part two, how scheduled tasks actually work.
Let's look under the hood and see how this builds. When the clock strikes your scheduled time, the source documentation outlines exactly what happens behind the scenes. And remember, zero human intervention is required here. First, a fresh Cowork session opens up automatically. Second, Claude reads the instructions you gave it during your initial setup. Third, it reaches right into your files and connected apps. We're talking Gmail, Slack, Google Drive, the whole shebang. Fourth, it completely handles the analysis or writing task. And fifth, boom, it saves that output right to a designated spot on your computer. The session closes, and the work is just sitting there waiting for you.
Now, I found this background behavior really surprising while reviewing the documentation. It's kind of a secret superpower. If you check your Scheduled tab after day one and notice your prompt text has magically changed, don't panic. During that very first run, Claude is actually learning which exact files, connectors, and steps are needed to succeed. It actively rewrites your original instructions to be way more precise, optimizing the workflow so every future run is absolutely flawless.
Okay, part three, writing the perfect prompt, because speaking Claude's language is the secret here.
The documentation lays out 4 absolute golden rules for this, and you really want to pay attention here. Rule 1, be incredibly specific about the source of the data. Rule 2, be specific about exactly where the output should go on your computer. Rule 3, narrow the scope. Listen, broad instructions will just eat up your daily token limits and make the tasks run super slowly. And Rule 4, always run the task manually to test it out before you actually schedule it.
Let me show you what I mean. Giving a vague prompt like check my emails or look at my files is a total recipe for disaster. Claude might pull in hundreds of useless documents or just get completely overwhelmed. Instead, we need to tighten those parameters. Try something like check my Gmail inbox for unread emails received in the last 24 hours, or look at the files in the specific reports folder. Tightening the parameters like this prevents Claude from pulling in a bunch of useless noise.
And when it comes to saving that output, you absolutely must use the date tag. You just type a bracket, the word date, and a closing bracket right into the file name path. Claude will automatically replace this little placeholder with today's date every single time it runs. This is absolutely crucial because it keeps your files perfectly organized chronologically, and it guarantees Claude won't accidentally overwrite yesterday's hard work.
Part 4. Setting up your automation. It's surprisingly simple once that prompt is ready. There are a couple of ways to do this, but the /command method is basically a cheat code. It's the absolute fastest. Once your prompt is ready, step 1. Open up Claude Desktop, go to the Cowork tab, and click plus New Task. Step 2. Type in that perfect prompt we just talked about. And remember that pro tip. Hit Enter and run it manually first to verify the output is exactly what you want. Once it looks good, step 3 is simply typing /schedule into the message box and pressing Enter. Finally, Claude will ask you to choose a frequency, daily, weekly, or monthly. Hit Save, and your automation is live, just like that. Part 5.
Let's look at some real-world automation examples to get those ideas flowing. First up is the morning email briefing. Imagine setting this up to run every weekday at 7:30 a.m. Claude connects to your Gmail, scans your unread emails from the last 18 hours, groups them logically into action required and FYI only, and saves the whole briefing directly to your documents folder. You could literally be sipping your morning coffee while Claude acts like an executive assistant, filtering out all the noise before your workday even officially begins.
Next is the weekly file organizer. We all suffer from the universal problem of a completely messy desktop or a chaotic downloads folder, right? Well, you can tell Claude that every Sunday at 10 p.m., it should look at your downloads folder for the past 7 days, physically move your PDFs and spreadsheets to their proper dedicated folders, and save a text log of what it moved. The absolute relief of having a pristine digital workspace that just cleans itself on autopilot, it's a total game changer.
Or, are you tired of jumping back and forth between Notion and Asana every single morning? Set this up. At 8 a.m., Claude connects to your external apps, finds everything assigned specifically to you, highlights what's due today, and generates a really focused, top 5 to-do list saved right to your daily plan folder. It pulls all your scattered priorities across multiple apps directly into one cohesive game plan.
Finally, Part 6, Limitations and Best Practices. Because with great power comes the need for a few guardrails.
Okay, reality check. There is one critical physical limitation you have to keep in mind. So, the crucial point is your computer must be on, it must be awake, and the Claude Desktop app must be open. Scheduled tasks cannot magically turn on a powered-down machine. If your computer happens to be asleep when a task is due, Claude will just skip it and then run it automatically the next time you open the app. The best practice here is to adjust your computer's energy settings to auto-wake a few minutes before your morning tasks, or you can simply add Claude to your startup login items.
And here are a few quick gotchas to watch out for. First, scheduled tasks run without your explicit approval mid-run. Claude won't pause to ask for permission, so be incredibly careful with prompts that ask Claude to delete or move important files. Always review your task definition. Second, if a task gets skipped, it won't loudly notify you. You have to actively check the history in the Scheduled tab. And finally, as we mentioned earlier, broad prompts will absolutely eat your daily token limits, so keep those tasks narrow and highly focused.
Based on everything we've explored today, the main takeaway is beautifully simple. Set it once, let Claude run it, get your time back. You now have the exact knowledge to delegate your most tedious digital chores to a tireless background assistant. So, I'll leave you with this. What is the very first task you are going to schedule to reclaim your morning? Get out there, start experimenting, and enjoy your new free time.